Do you know what truly causes people over 60 to fall? It's not weak legs, fragile bones, or lack of movement. What stopped me in my tracks while reading a CDC report was this. The brain sends signals to the legs 0.2 seconds too slowly. And that tiny delay is enough to make you lose balance when turning or stepping sideways. And unfortunately, walking cannot fix this delayed reflex. We'll show you exactly where your reflex speed is right now. Before we continue, try a very quick test. Stand on one leg and hold for up to 5 seconds. If you wobble before 3 seconds, it's a sign your stabilizer muscles are slowing down. If it's under 1 second, your fall risk increases by 62%, according to a 2023 Missouri study. If you felt a little unsteady, don't worry. We're going to fix that today. I still remember Mrs. Helen, 72 years old. For more than 10 years, she walked every single morning. She believed that as long as she kept walking, her legs would always stay strong. But one morning, as she gently turned to grab her coat, she suddenly lost balance and nearly fell. When I examined her, I realized her muscles weren't weak at all. What had truly slowed down was the reaction speed between her brain and her hip muscles, delayed by exactly 0.2 seconds. Walking does not touch this reflex system, so even with dedication, the body cannot respond fast enough to sudden movements. After 10 days of practicing the 3 chair exercises, she told me, "I turn with confidence now. I'm not afraid of falling anymore." Reflexes are like brakes on a car. Just a 0.2 second delay is enough to cause danger. The problem isn't the muscles. It's how fast the brain sends commands to the muscles, and this is exactly why we need the next test. Stay with me. This test will show you exactly where your legs are right now. Before we begin any exercises, I want you to take a moment to listen to your body. There's a very simple way to know whether the reflex between your brain and your legs is slowing down. And you can do it right at home. First test, sit to stand 5 times in 10 seconds. Sit upright on a sturdy chair. Without using your hands, stand up and sit down 5 times while counting the seconds. If you finish in under 10 seconds, your reflexes are still good. If it takes 12 to 15 seconds, your signals are already slowing. And if it takes more than 15 seconds, or you have to use your hands, it means your brain is sending signals to your legs slower than you think. The issue isn't muscle strength, it's delayed brain commands. Second test, reflex step. Stand beside a chair, then take one quick small step forward. If the step is low or your body wobbles slightly, it means the signal between your brain and your hip muscles is delayed. Which test felt harder for you? Make a note of it. And if these 2 tests felt a bit challenging, exercise number 3 in this countdown will improve it the fastest. Exercise number 3, knee extension. Now we begin the countdown with exercise number 3. If lately you've been standing up more slowly or needing to push with your hands, that's not a sign your body is getting weaker. It's the first reflex control muscle group starting to decline. Many people walk regularly, but still stand up slowly. The reason is that walking does not load the quads correctly. The muscles responsible for sending the signal, "Stand up right now." When the activation pattern isn't right, the brain never receives the fast reflex cue. A 2022 Harvard study showed that people who practiced knee extensions increased quad strength by 12 to 18% in just 10 days, clearly improving their stand-up response time. Think of the quads like the front brake of a bicycle. If the brake reacts slowly, the bike slides forward, and our body works the same way. Here's how to perform it. Sit tall, extend your leg, and hold for 2 seconds. Then lower it slowly for 4 seconds. This is the part that rebuilds your reflex. Repeat 12 to 15 times per leg. After age 60, quad strength naturally drops 3 to 8% per year. The sooner you reactivate them, the faster your stand-up reflex returns. If your knee hurts, reduce the range of motion. For those over 75, use a higher chair or lower the leg only halfway. And now I want to ask you, do you often push with your hands when standing up? If yes, comment "Me." You're not alone. If this exercise helps you regain a faster stand-up reflex, the next one will fix the tripping problem, the most common cause of falls after 60. Next, we move to exercise number 2, the exercise that corrects toe catching and threshold tripping, a major fall trigger after 60. Exercise number 2, hip marches. If you've ever tripped on a carpet edge or hesitated when stepping over a doorway, this exercise will show you exactly why. A 2022 Mayo Clinic study found that when the hip flexor group is weak, fall risk increases fourfold. This happens because when we walk, the leg lifts only 10 to 15 degrees, far too low to fully activate the reflex lifting muscles. So even daily walking doesn't wake up this reflex. Think of hip flexors as the hinge of a door. If the hinge is stiff, the door won't open high enough. And our legs behave the same way. A low step is enough to cause a trip. Now, let's practice. Sit tall on the edge of your chair. Lift one knee as high as you comfortably can and hold for 2 seconds. Then lower slowly. Repeat 20 times per leg. Mornings are when hip flexors are the weakest, so activating them early helps you feel more secure in your first steps of the day. If you feel slight outer hip discomfort, place your hand on the area for support. If lifting high is difficult, lift only halfway. It still works very well. Mr. Robert, 68, used to trip every morning leaving his bedroom. After 1 week of practicing this exercise, he told me, "Doctor, I'm no longer afraid of my first step." The next exercise in our countdown is the strongest, the one that directly repairs the 0.2-second delay. If this exercise helps you lift your feet higher and avoid tripping, then the next one will take you even deeper. It activates the reflex speed itself, the very factor that determines whether you stay balanced. Here's something many people over 60 never realize. 90% of falls don't happen because the legs are weak. They happen because the brain reacts 0.2 seconds too slowly. And the next exercise is the only one that can reactivate this reflex speed, helping your body respond faster in sudden moments. But please remember this. If you skip the next part, even if you walk every day, walking will not protect you from those small but dangerous falls. Now, we move into the most important exercise. Exercise number 1, sit to stand. Now we arrive at the most important exercise in the countdown. Your ability to stand up without using your hands predicts longevity better than blood pressure. Each time you stand, imagine it like switching the power back on in the wiring system between your brain and your legs. When the wiring is bright, your reflexes are fast. When the wiring flickers, even a small movement can make you lose balance. Many people do squats or stand-sit repetitions every day, yet their legs still feel weak. The reason is simple. They stand up quickly, and they go down quickly. But 70% of your strength and almost all of your reflex training happens in the slow 4-second lowering phase. When you drop down fast, the brain doesn't have time to send signals, and reflexes weaken over time. After 60, reflex speed declines faster than most people think. Just a few percent each year is enough to increase fall risk when standing. A 2020 European Journal study showed that controlling the eccentric phase, the slow lowering, increased bone density, 12 to 19% in adults over 65. Here's how to practice. Sit on a chair with your arms crossed. Stand up by pressing through your heels. When you sit back down, lower slowly for 4 full seconds. Repeat 10 to 15 times. Mr. Daniel, age 70, told me that after just 3 days of doing this, he no longer needed to push with his hands. He stood up lighter, steadier. If you feel a bit dizzy when standing, rest for 10 seconds before continuing. For adults over 75, use a higher chair and lower only halfway. The reflex benefits remain just as strong. Now try lowering for 4 seconds. If your legs tremble slightly, that's a sign your reflex wiring is lighting up again. Comment "run" if you feel it. And stay with me. The next section will show you exactly when your body begins to change. Now that you've mastered all 3 exercises in the countdown, I want to show you how to apply them so your body responds quickly and safely. When you train is just as important as how you train. Morning is always the best choice because your nervous system is most alert and your reflexes fire the fastest. Just a few minutes of practice in the morning can help you stand more steadily and take your first steps of the day with confidence. Afternoon is also an excellent time. Your muscles are warm, your joints move more easily, and your body coordinates more smoothly. I only suggest avoiding very late sessions because your muscles may become too tense to relax before bedtime. If you practice consistently, you'll notice a very clear progression. By day 3, you'll stand up with less trembling. By day 7, your steps will naturally lift higher. And around day 14, the 0.2-second reflex delay begins to reset. Like the wiring inside your body has been renewed. You don't need heavy workouts. You just need to wake up the reflex pathways that have been asleep for years. Now, I want to ask you, how old are you this year? Tell me, and I'll suggest the most suitable training frequency for your age. Before we finish, I want you to know the 5 small mistakes that slow down progress more than most people realize. These mistakes are so common that almost everyone makes them when they first start. The first mistake is moving too quickly. When you rush, the brain doesn't have time to send signals to the muscles, and you miss the most important part of reflex training. The second mistake is using a chair that's too low, forcing your knees to work harder than necessary. The next mistake is sitting too deep, which reduces the range needed to activate your reflexes. Then comes lowering yourself too fast, which wastes 70% of your strength-building potential. And finally, holding your breath. This makes your muscles tense and increases your risk of losing balance. Stay with me just a moment longer. The final part is the most important message you need to hear. When we enter our 60s, our bodies don't become weak the way many people believe. They simply send protective signals more slowly, like an old wiring system that needs to be refreshed. And the 3 exercises we practice today are the gentle way to light those wires back up. When your reflex wiring brightens again, you'll stand steadier, walk with more confidence, and live more independently each day. And please remember this, you deserve to walk safely every single day. Walking helps you move. But these 3 chair exercises are what keep you stable, safe, and independent. Now I want to ask you, how old are you this year? And would you like me to create a 7 to 30-day program to speed up your 0.2-second reflex for you personally? Comment yes, and I'll reply to each of you.